It's one of the richest natural habitats in Europe. This part of northern Croatia is the European Amazon, according to wildlife photographer Goran Šafarek. Some of the rarest animals and plants thrive in the jungle-like floodplains where the wild parts of the Drave and the Danube rivers meet. 20 years ago, the nature reserve was part of the battleground between Serbs and Croats, but the main threat doesn't come from the landmines they left behind. Biologists like Goran are extremely concerned about man-made changes to the river that they believe are threatening the European Amazon.
River regulation does harm nature. It has a negative impact on biodiversity, but some river regulation is necessary to secure structures like bridges and to protect people from flooding. The Nature Department tries to make the impact of those river management measures as small as possible to maintain sustainable development in those sensitive areas.
Without doubt, river management damages and destroys natural habitats. The riverbed becomes deeper and deeper, and that means groundwater levels drop. Cutting the river off from the natural floodplain lessens the capacity of the plains to store water.
I agree. When the water level of the Danube is too low, the natural floodplains are flooded less frequently.
Austria, Slovenia, Hungary, Croatia and Serbia want to create a biosphere reserve under the auspices of UNESCO. Croatia also wants to include sensitive zones in the European Natura 2000 network. But further river works marked in red are planned. And some believe the government are using the protection zones to bolster their green credentials with elections and accession to the EU on the horizon. In its wild state, the banks of the Danube are being eaten away by the water flow. And according to the Agency for Inland Waterways, it's causing problems for navigation. Reason enough, they say, for man to step in.
Just today, for instance, the water level in the Danube is very low. In the most critical parts of the river, it's currently only 2.2 meters deep. And under international agreements and rules, we're supposed to maintain a minimum depth of 2.8 meters.
One man-made intervention comes in the form of so-called T-groins. Critics say they damage the riverbed by speeding up the water flow. But river managers argue they push the navigation channel back to the middle of the river.
We urgently needed to do something here, so we built several of these T-groins to stop the Danube breaking into the nature reserve. If that happened, the Danube would no longer be navigable.
The Croatian Society for Bird and Nature Protection called that an outright lie, saying navigation is possible without artificial embankments. They accused the river authorities of failing to set up a system to measure groundwater level in the floodplain, and say the major infrastructure works are based on pure assumption and completely wrong approaches to modelling. Statistics show that river management in the past has caused the bed of the Danube to drop by a centimetre per year. Naturalists say the floodplain recedes and old alluvial forests are dying.
The yellow line shows the border of the former floodplain of the Danube. And the Danube was forming here the floodplain that was between 5 and 30 kilometers wide. But then the people came and they squeezed the river and the floodplain. They built the dikes. And basically 70% of the floodplain is now gone. And the remaining 30% we would like to protect as a truly natural habitats and features.
The Croatian government needs reliable long-term data. Armed with paper, pencil and a GPS system, Goran Šafarek is in charge of mapping plant life alongside the Drava River. But he's sceptical about some close personal links between some government departments and the local construction companies contracted to carry out the work.
We believe that most of this regulation on the rivers, especially outside of the cities, villages or industry, is not necessary at all. It's profitable for the companies that are doing these works, and there are many indications that the same people that are giving orders are actually doing these works.
The Society for Bird Protection has joined a network of NGOs called River Watch. It's set up a system to monitor the controversial infrastructure projects, fearing Croatia will step up the pace of the works in the 2 years before it joins the EU.
Our people will go up and down the river and look for the new developments and the new projects, because we think that these 2 coming years are crucial for the Croatian rivers. These huge old-fashioned navigation projects are just the way to funnel the taxpayers' money to the private pockets of these companies, like one behind me.
The Croatian government is also discussing plans to build several hydroelectric plants on the Drava, a tributary of the Danube.
There are many negative side effects of the hydropower plant. There is complete mess with the underground water. For example, underground water goes down and we have dry wetlands.
The government in Zagreb hasn't taken the final decision yet on the Drava project. The Croatian authorities are meeting experts from the European Commission to talk it over again. The Ministry of Culture defended Croatia's efforts on nature protection.
Here within this area.
Croatia's proposed that 34% of the land be included in the EU's Natura 2000 protected area. In comparison, Denmark has just 6 to 9% of its territory in the Natura 2000 network. Slovenia included 35%. Croatia is right there in comparison with Slovenia or other countries like Bulgaria.
But conservationists claim the government has significantly reduced the initial proposal for Natura 2000. Battling for nature means battling mosquitoes. They're Goran's fiercest enemies when hiding in the European Amazon.
I was lucky enough to be in true Amazon doing scientific research, and we can truly say that this Kopač Krit and Danube Drava, it's truly European Amazon.
The WWF in Zagreb says around 100 new building projects are planned close to the European Amazon. One of the most controversial projects is where the Mura and the Drava rivers meet.
I'm opposing to this project because if all of them will be implemented, then it means that Drava as a river will not exist anymore. It will be a series of canals and a series of reservoirs, hydropower plants.
The Hungarian border is just on the other side of where the Mura and the Drava collide. There's a railway line nearby. Local people question the need for large-scale works. They say smaller projects would be better.
My opinion is it should stay like you see it around here. And that's the opinion of the huge majority of people living around here.
Goran lives nearby too. His professional wildlife photos from the European Amazon have been published worldwide in books and the most prestigious magazines.
I am fighting to preserve Drava River because this is extraordinary habitat for many species. For example, this gravel bar around us, this is so rare and specific habitat for many animals, but most notably for some birds. These birds are unique, especially small tern, that is so rare in Croatia and in Europe that there are probably not more on Drava 15 pairs. So if we destroy these gravel bars, we'll lose these species in Croatia. When machines come, when the river becomes regulated, all birds are gone. The habitat is destructed, it's destroyed. So nothing left. We have just dead river, nothing else.
And the European Parliament has waded in too, reminding Croatia to respect this landscape, which is unique in Europe.